Hello, everyone. We are here today with Taylor, and we are going to learn about her story and her business and where she was and where she is now, and my role in and how that journey went. So we have Taylor here, and tell us, how long have you been in business, and what is your business?
Okay, so before my business, I was learning about marketing for about 2 years, and then I took the jump and actually started up a business, a coaching business, and that has been going for almost a year now.
Yes.
And and so what I do is business coaching, and I help actually new coaches. I'm a coach for coaches, yes. And I help them gain clarity. I help them with their building blocks and their foundations of their business.
Yes, I love that. It's just so important what you do. And so I love that emphasis on clarity so people can just figure that out and get that foundation so they can just move forward. So how far into your business did you start working with me?
Okay, this took a little bit longer. Allie, you were my first coach, for those that don't know, and I had been debating for months. I would say about 6 months in, 4 to 6 months, I had been debating even having Allie as a coach. And I actually remember messaging Allie after watching one of her Facebook Live videos and saying, like, I want to hire you. I want you to become my coach. But I just, like, I had objections to that. Like, I can't afford it right now. So I had been eyeing you for a while, but it took me a while to even make the investment because it was quite scary.
Right, yes. So how did you, what kind of made you go ahead and move forward?
I wasn't getting results, and the time wasting was big for me. That's something that I've always not wanted to do. So not seeing results after months in my business and really working hard, like not slacking off, not doing it part-time, just really going at it. That was the motivation, the push, the trigger for me to hire a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people can relate to that. And I got a coach really early in the beginning of my coaching business, but I had been in a previous business and not gotten results and been really frustrated. And I think that's why I ended up saying, I'm going right for it. Sorry, my camera is moving. My cat is usually not a problem with video, but today
my camera's moving too when I laugh.
Like, can you show your face to everyone? Here is my fat cat. You need to go away, darling. Okay. So like what challenges, like, in particular were you dealing with and stuck on? And what, like, emotions were you feeling?
I think the biggest thing for me, there was like many challenges that we uncovered during our time together that weren't my main focus. But my main focus at the time was getting clients. Like, that's the one thing that I wanted, that I thought was going to solve all of my problems. So once I got like my first client and just like built up the coaching practice in general with clients, so that is what I came to you for. That is what those emotions were behind. Like, that was the reason why I had the emotions in the first place. The emotions that I felt during that time, I feel like I have to think about and go back to drained and burnt out, definitely, because of the lack of results and constant moving, constant giving, feeling like I was doing everything right. So why wasn't this working? Those were some of the things that I was saying to myself during that time.
Yeah, that's so good and just like so relatable. I mean, obviously it wasn't good that you're feeling that way, but it's good that I helped you work through that. So
Yeah.
how did that end up feeling when you did get your first client?
Oh, okay. So everyone watching. I got my first client the same month that I signed up with Allie. Like my first high paying, high ticket, high price client who was longer term. So that was amazing. You asked how did I feel once I got that client?
Yes.
To be honest, I felt like I wanted to like do it for free. Like I wanted to give back the money because I felt kind of bad about it. But also at the same exact time, I was so excited. Like I thought it wasn't possible, and to have that happen, you're kind of starstruck for a little bit, like a day or two, and then you realize like, oh my goodness, like I'm actually doing this and this is happening.
Oh, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. Actually, this isn't really too much of the story of working with me, but just what would you say to somebody who's really in that stuck place? Like, oh my gosh, I just want to get my first client or get my next client. I feel like it's never going to come again. Like, what kind of encouragement would you give them?
It's all about the mindset. And I know I hated hearing about this when I was at that place, but at that place, you feel like it's not possible, even though you're trying so hard, and you need to shift the mindset so that like your actions and the beliefs can match together. I feel like that's the biggest struggle that people might have, and that might help them if they change that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. It really was kind of ironic that you came to me especially earlier, I was even more focused on mindset. You decided to go ahead and come with me, even though maybe you semi-intuitively knew you needed on the mindset side, because you are such a strategic person. That's why you're such a good coach for new coaches. But, okay, so let's see. So what, I guess you sort of mentioned it, like you had your first like long-term, like higher paying client, but what other results did you receive from working with me?
Oh man. So like Allie said, I am strategic, and the mindset is actually what bothers me a little bit. Like that's my weak point, I would say. And Allie's really good at the mindset, which is why we complemented each other so well. But I would say, and I was just thinking about this before we got on the call, one huge thing is that you literally helped me uncover two of the biggest things in my life, like that I'm going to have to work on for years to come. I know that for a fact. One, dealing with productivity, and working smarter and not harder, things like that were ingrained in me for so long, ever since I could remember. Having the transformation and transformational piece of switching that mindset, switching that belief, it's going to take years to work through and process, but just uncovering it was super beneficial. It was like the starting point that like unlocked this whole opportunity for me to become a better person, a better coach, a better business owner, and more. And that was on the life side. What happened through our work together was actually all this life stuff that we talk about and that we deal with, including our mindset, actually helps our business. So more recently, I've gained more clarity than ever before, which is funny because I help people with clarity, but I still struggle. So having clarity on my business and the direction that it's going in 100%, like big picture vision, and big picture thinking, that has been another area and aspect that Allie helped me uncover through our months together, which has been so relieving, and has made me feel so much more confident in my business and the direction that it's headed in.
Yeah, it can make me feel so good about myself. And I do want everyone who's watching to also be encouraged. And like, these transformations are possible. Like, you can go from feeling really stressed out, or even from thinking that you're spending all the time doing all the right things, to, you know, reframing things and then actually getting a whole lot more done in a whole lot less time, and feeling better about it. And and not being ashamed also of needing help with things that you help other people with.
Yes.
It's one of those things. It's just, you know, and same with me. Like, we just kind of need each other. Like, it's hard sometimes to coach yourself. Like, to some extent, you always will be self-coaching, but it's sometimes helpful to really have somebody else like help. A little extra support at times. So let's see, as you've gotten more experience in your business, like, how has that shifted, like, what you're gaining from one-on-one coaching?
It's more of someone not telling me what to do and trying to get answers from the coach, which is kind of the mindset that I came into coach or hiring a coach with. Not that I was expecting that with my clients at all, with one-on-one sessions of getting clients. I knew it was going to be transformational, but when I was hiring a coach, I always thought, okay, they're going to tell me what to do. They're going to like solve my problems for me, kind of deal. Yeah. And ever since I've worked with you for long term, I believe that it's now about me figuring out the answers for myself, and I'm actually really comfortable and confident in that, of going through the journey. And maybe I didn't get it this session, but I uncovered a piece of it by myself, and the next session will just be just as good, and I'll uncover something else, and then it'll just click from there, and it'll all be just a journey and a process. And I think I take things much more slowly now too, of just being patient and waiting for the answers to come, and not expecting them to just happen like 1, 2, 3 anymore.
Yeah. Oh, that is so good. And that's what's so beautiful about coaching, you know, is that it really is empowering other people and giving them the power to make those decisions. But it's like having that space can give people that room. And then also, obviously, sometimes there's some, you know, like, oh, what do you think of this or whatever. But for the most part, it's like you are growing as a business person. Like, it's not just, what did this person, you know, coach give me today from this session, but it's like you're developing. So now you're just so much more mature as a person and a coach, you know, in a short period of time. And like, you're young, which is so exciting, because I mean, I can't even imagine where you'll be 20 years from now. So how would you say you've grown and matured as a person and as a coach through your entrepreneurial journey and working with me?
Oh my goodness, so much. Like Ali said, I am really young. So I mean, this entrepreneur journey is hard to do alone. And I hope, especially in the beginning when you don't have everything figured out, I personally believe the first year of business is just experimenting. You're just trying new things, and maybe this will work, maybe this won't. And you're just going with the things that work after that. So that's how I felt this whole entire year. But the one thing I have to say that Ali helped me with was confidence. Like 110%, just as you were talking about coaching being about empowering the person you're working with as a coach, I feel like that's what happened. Even as I said that last answer, I actually was thinking to myself, yeah, that's why it's different now, where I'm self-discovering, right? Like, I'm just discovering myself. So, and I was going to say this with the last answer is, like, now I love when Ali asks me questions. Like, when I tell her something and that's going on, right? Like a situation that happened, Allie will ask me a question in response to that, and I have to think for myself. Like, I'm not being babied. Not that Allie is harsh whatsoever. She's a sweetheart. But it's challenging, and it makes you think. It makes you step back from the thoughts and feelings that you were going to go with once that situation occurred, and really kind of check yourself and say, okay, should I be feeling this way, or is there a way to think differently about this situation? And that is what empowers you. I know that's what empowered me. And in turn, the empowerment actually like leads to just confidence, both in your business, showing up for me as like, okay, I have confidence with the direction, with the clarity now, and in personal life, without a doubt, in so many ways that I can't even explain, really.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm gonna cry or something. Oh man. So okay. I will just try to wrap it up, I think. Is what I'll just do. So how can we talked earlier about like what you do is you help new coaches, and especially in that clarity side, and getting them to have really good foundation. You're super strategic. You can help people a little bit further along too, but like that is something that you're particularly good at. So how can people find more of you?
Yep, just go to my website, coachtakeoff.com. It's kind of catchy, but you can find me there. Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. And I really believe that, whether, somebody's like considering like working with me or not, like your story of that transformation and all those shifts and what a difference mindset can make, there's a lot of nuggets that, people could watch and like take notes on what you've learned and like learned from it, which is really cool. Like that, I love it when things work out that way. So awesome. So thank you guys. I'm going to stop recording now. So bye.